Kongoino chitab kolenjin in boranda notok netesetai inome asikobit ikere ak isub ketesiet nebo Nenyon TV. Nenagaten ako atinye kamang'unet ale tesetai inyoru koskoleng'ut nemie. Nenatachen in boranda nebo logoiywek Nenyon kekurenan Cynthia Terer. Tuyet nebo betusiek aeng nekoimuch kosuldaen en nganaset nebo Eldoret County nebo Uasin Gishu nekoimuch komut en kibagenge ak sirikab logoiwek koboto chemung'arainik chotok cheyopto tugukab mung'aret koba emotinwekab sang kokaikomuch kowongei. Niton ko tuyet nekoimuch kondochi kibagengeit noton netinyegei ak kanaptaet nebo tuguk chekiyopto kong'eten emoni koba emotinwekab sang noton ko Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency KEPROBA. Akot ko noton ko tuyet nekokimuch ketokyi keker kele kaimuch kobois kibagenge noton ak sirikab logoiwek koboto chemung'arainik chebo emoni en tetutik chebo kanaptaet nebo tuguk chekiyopto koba emet nebo emotinwekab sang asikobit keker kele kakimuch kibarait siret nebo emotinwekab sang ak kanapta kainetab emetab Kenya en emotinwekab sang. Kosubkei ak CEO noton nebo KEPROBA noton ko Flois Mukabana komwae kole niton kobo kamanut mising asikobit keker kele katestai chemung'arainik cheyopto tuguk koba emotinwekab sang konyor kelchinoik.
This week we have taken some time to engage with the exporters and the media team in Uasin Gishu with a view of undertaking two activities. The first one was a media engagement that was done yesterday, and the objective of the media engagement is to be able to work with the media to appreciate the role of nation branding in terms of reporting about our country's image and reputation, and also being able to provide the much needed support in terms of being able to increase the visibility of the country brand, but specifically because we're in Uasin Gishu, the county brand as well. As our Minister from Trade has mentioned, as KEPROBA, we have been working with the county governments to ensure that we create a county profile, which they can be able to use as a means of marketing and as a means of showing what Uasin Gishu is known for, as part of the nation branding activities, and in this case, a county branding. The other role that we're here in Uasin Gishu to do is to undertake an exporters roundtable, which speaks to the second mandate of export promotion. Our exporters roundtable is basically a platform where we engage with the exporters from Uasin Gishu. The objective of such engagement is to allow us to discuss about the emerging trends that are happening around exports for the Uasin Gishu players, trying to come up with challenges, solutions around the challenges that we find, but most importantly, discuss about the opportunities and market access that have arisen because of the emerging trends that have.
Yekistoenge noton chitab kolenjin komebeatab koning'atin ng'atutik noton nebo Kiharu Ndindinyoro kakotestai komongei ak kololchi kot mising serikali kotinygei ak panganutik chotok chetieme konde kobunji chichok anan konde kokoito kobunji chichok kampunit netinyegei ak mwanik noton nebo Kenya Pipeline koboto kora aldaet nebo shares cheito beberta nebo 15% chenomu serikalitab emoni en kampunit noton nebo Safaricom. Kosubkei ak Ndindinyoro komwae kole nyolu en serikali koker kole kaimuch kogusti kongakutik choton en mwae kole ibendi koipchin ng'uyondit emoni mising nebo kabetet nebo rabinik. Kamwa kole nyolu en kakwautik chebo kasuldaet nebo ng'ololutik mising ko en aldaet noton nebo shares nemu serikalitab emoni en kampunit noton nebo Safaricom.
Government has to revisit this transaction. And Vodacom, which is the parent of the buyers buying Safaricom, if there is any deal you have done with any government official which is making Kenya lose over 100 billion, you are going to take the burden. The directors of Vodacom, I said, I'm waiting to see their response. Because I'll give Kenyans their phone numbers. If government cannot speak for us in the sale of Safaricom, Kenyans will directly speak to the directors of Vodacom, including the chairman and the CEO. Because there is no way I'll be here as an MP and as a leader. I have experience in the stock market. I know people are taking advantage of Kenya, and people tell me, oh, for political decency, you can't do that. Political decency when Kenya is losing 100 billion.
Yegistoenge ngalalet noton nebo ndindinyo chitab kolenjin ko ilegal kakomuch komongei ak ne minister en ministry netinye tetutikab tililindo Aden Duale ako kimit kole bendi konetegei chebo emoni konyorunen kelchin tuget nelel nebo konyoiset notok nebo SHA. Mwa kora kole en nguni kebendi kikochin boroindo noton inegen ofisaekab police koboisien tuget noton nebo SHA ngoto en taunetab keny nebo arawetab ang'wan notok nebo kenyini. Akot kong'ololi en tait notok nebo committee nebo bunge nebo National Assembly committee noton netinyegei ak tetutik chebo budget ko kimit kole kokomuch serikalitab emoni kotaban chepkondok cheite million 8 anan billion 8 chotok chebo kiker kele kakimuch kesir konetik chebo emoni en tuget nelel nebo konyoiset notok nebo SHA. Kama kole en nguni kora komokyingei ministry nebo tililindo chepkondok cheite billion 38 asikobit keker kele kakimuch kisuldaen tetutiet notok nebo universal health coverage.
I'm very happy today. I'm happy also. In the previous scheme, our teachers were only accessing only 800 health facilities across the country. They were only accessing one level 6, which is private, owned by the insurer. Today, our teachers are accessing over 9,000 facilities across the country. They can access all the level 6, public, private, and faith-based. Today, our teachers have a better package. For example, their foreign medical is 2.7 million. They get a better package. So our teachers, we have served them from December to January to February now. And we are taking over our armed police and prison 1st of April. And when I come back to this committee in another 6 months, I will prove to you that the country is going to save close to 8 billion by just shifting teachers from a private medical scheme to the Social Health Authority. They're getting more package, better served, more facilities, and we will save as a country. And I want to go on record. We will save close to 7 to 8 billion. What is? And we will save as a country, and I want to go on record, we will save close to 7 to 8 billion what was charged government. So
Chitab kolenjin en karonetab rani kaimuch kibagenge netinyegei netelelchin akotetyoni kibagenge ogiliek chebo emoni noton nebo Law Society of Kenya kosuldae lewenisiet en emet komugul ole tesetai kobire kura anan kigeni kobir kura ogiliek cheitoi 18,000 en emet komugul. Kikwae kandoik cheterter cheboto chebendi kobir boroindo noton nebo president nebo LSK ole alagen ogiliek chebo chebelchingei boroindo noton koboto Charles Kanjama, Peter Wanyama ak Mwaura Kabata. Akot kunoton ko en nguni anan lewenisho noton kondochin kibagengeit noton ne tinyegei ak lewenisiet ak kamaretab kiwatoshek nebo IEBC.
We are nearing national election year, that is in 2027, and we want strong leaders who are going to ensure that they will defend the rule of law, because we know what happens during national elections, and I wish that national elections could be this way, as peaceful as this election.
Jukumu la Law Society of Council ni jukumu la kisheria. Other societies ni majukumu ya constitution za their societies. Lakini sisi tumetwikwa jukumu la kulinda sheria za taifa la Kenya, kulinda wa Kenya, kulinda wale ambao sio wa Kenya walio katika hili taifa, kuangalia bunge inatengeneza sheria za kulinda taifa, za kuangalia matumizi ya mabaya ya fedha za serikali, ya kuangalia kwamba sheria, the rule of law, inafuatwa. Kwa hivyo kuna maraisi watatu, moja atapata, ule atakayepata tunaomba ajumuishe wale wengine watakaokosa katika uongozi wake tuweze kwenda mbali. Pili, kura hizi zinapiwa taifa zima. Hizi ni kura ambazo mkiangalia vyombo vya habari vimechukua msimamo wa kueleza, kuleta mijadala ya hawa mababi wakibishana, wakieleza sera zao. Wabunge wanatengeneza sheria zao. Hawa ndio wataangalia kama zile sheria zimefuata sheria. Kwa hivyo uhuru wa taifa zima unategemea wale viongozi watakaochukua nafasi za Law Society of Kenya. tunaomba amani na tunaomba kwamba muweze kuangalia jinsi sisi ambao tunaenda kotini na kuchunga rule of law tutakavyopiga kura zetu kwa njia taratibu.
Kagomuch ne porchinge kandoinatetab emoni noton ko Dr. Fred Matiang'i ne porchinge kandoinatetab emetab Kenya koboisien chamait noton nebo Jubilee kolosen kimnotet akobo katuyet ne komuch koib chamait noton nebo Jubilee ak chamait noton nebo PNU neindochin Peter Kimunya. Ako kokimit kole en mwa kole noton kowendi kot missing kosingong koker kole kakimuch kikimit akobo chamait noton nebo Jubilee missing ko en kasarta nechopchingei emoni lewenisiet noton nebo 2027 kosubkei ak Dr. Fred Matiang'i ko en nguni komwa kole nyolu en komosta noton ne ituitos kandoik chebunu komosta nechigili serikali noton ko United Opposition koker kole kakimuch kekusingong missing akobo anan kokwoutik chenene yekibendi kekwoe kandoindet newendi koibe anan kokonopto benderet nebo United Opposition en lewenisiet no nenyoni nebo kenyitab 2027 logoiwek chekaimuch korob kot missing eun kandoindet nebo chamaitab PNU noton ko Peter Munya.
I had my views on how, because your colleagues asked me how do I think a presidential candidate should be chosen, and I said I don't know, we are going to agree when we get there, but in my view, from where I sit, it ought to be an inclusive process, because in alliance building and coalition building, process is as important as the outcome itself. Because if you have 5 candidates, you're going to go through a process where 4 candidates are going to come back without being nominated the flag bearers. They must have a basis, a credible basis of conviction to tell their supporters that we sat in, in that place, we went through this process, and we arrived at X or Y as the candidate. And since we are bound by that arrangement, let us now support that candidate. That is how you achieve your objectives. But you see, if you operate on the basis of a conspiracy, you will not achieve your objectives, because how would those other 4 who are not nominated go back to their supporters and address them? How would they explain to them why they are not the candidate? Because if our interest is unity and to bring everybody together, then honestly there is no substitute for inclusion, including the public, and ensuring that we are open and transparent about these issues, and ensuring that we are open.
Ako en nguni chitab kolenjin kakomuch serikalitab emoni kolumda kebeberta notok nebo oeng nebo kayaptaet nebo chepkondok chebunu legut noton nebo Nyota. Kakomuch rubeiwotab president nebo emoni noton ko Professor Kithure Kindiki kolos tetutiet notok en mwa kole wendi kokere kole kakitestai kibarait kokwoutiet nebo kekanapta neranik cheterter missing ko chotok chechutyin mung'arosiek. Kosubkei ak Kindiki kora komwa kole en nguni ko en wikit nenyone kibendi kelumdo akobo tetutiet notok nebo serikali nekibendi kekere kele kakimuch kinet neranik chebo emoni akobo tetutik cheboisiet noton nebo muswoknotetab kasari ne naat ko Kenya Joint Education Technology anan KJET program.
Nyota is aimed at supporting young people who ordinarily would not be supported. Why? Because, number one, many of them are not credit worthy, and that's why the business grant is perhaps the first major infusion of capital into their business activities. Many of them in the field told us that first batch of 22,000 shillings was the highest amount of money they have ever handled together. So you can imagine what the complete sum of 50,000 would do to millions, hundreds of thousands of our young people. But we have other components that are still outstanding. The on-the-job experience, which will create the skills and certify skills of 90,000 young people. The recognition of prior learning that will also assess and certify 20,000 young people. And also 600,000 young people, mainly those who would never have done any business with government, whether national or county government. We are on good course, and in the next few weeks, we are going to announce the national rollout of KJET in a big way, and further figures will be given when we conclude this process, because it's not concluded. We are resuming again next week on Monday at 2 o'clock.
Chitab kolenjin ako en karonetab rani kaimuch president nebo emetab Kenya Dr. William Samoei Arap Ruto kokanapta bilishek koek ngatutik chotok che kikimuch kisirto en bunge nebo National Assembly. Bilishek chotok somok chekimuch kekanapta koek ngatutietab emoni en karonetab rani koboto noton netelelchin akobo minutik chebo Pareto anan Pyrethrum Repeal Bill nebo kenyitab 2024. Noton kora kakimuch kisirto bill newendi konopto akobo nyorunet nebo baronok chebo siget ak chebo meet en nyumnyumindo noton ko Birth and Registration Amendment Bill nebo kenyitab 2024 koboto kora nebo kusingong akobo kiboitinik chebo emoni anan noton ko Social Work Professional Bill nebo kenyitab 2023. Bill notok netelelchin akobo nyorunet nebo baronok chebo siget ak meet kokimuch MP nebo Gilgil koita taitab National Assembly noton ko Martha Wangari ole kimache keker kele kakimuch ketech ketesiet agenge anan ketesiet nekinyorunen baronok chebo siget en sub county age tugul nebo emoni. Kora ko bill noton netelelchin minutiet nebo Pareto kokimuch Kimani Ichung'wa kokoito en National Assembly ole en nguni kotokyingei noton kisto akobo ng'atutik chekimen kot missing anan ko chekergei chetelelchin akobo sekta inoton bo minset noton nebo Pareto. Kora ko bill noton netelelchin akobo tetutik chebo kiboitinik anan Social Work Professional Bill kokimuch koita taitab National Assembly MP nebo Kaiti Joshua Akimilu ne noton kowendi kokere kole kakimuch ketoi ng'atutik chenene chotok chetelelchin kiboitinik asikobit keker kele kakimuch keityi magutik akot konoton ko en nguni kakomuch President William Samoei Ruto konde siyet bilishek choton koek ng'atutik ako kibendi ketou kisuldoen.
Amendment to the 1928 Birth and Death Registration Act will therefore actualize this provision to ensure that civil registration is done as closest as possible to the people of Kenya. The bill provides, Your Excellency, that every person who is practicing social work needs to register with the institute, but
the Prime Cabinet Secretary for implementation and to the Solicitor General for publication into law. Your Excellency may also graciously present ceremonial copies of the Act. Other members of Parliament present and all esteemed state officials in attendance. Congratulations. Copies.
Chitab Kalenjin kiwongunen logoiwek yonetok chekakimuch keibun en nguni metou ameten en eunek chebo Daisy Lagat ibwati ile weksek logoiwek alak chechang missing yeita sait 12 ak kebeberyat notok nebo koskoling akoibun kora logoiwek alak chechang missing yeita sait 2 ak kebeberyat notok nebo koskoling nekomiten tuan en karonetab rani keberta notok nebo logoiwek ko kainenyun ko Cynthia Terer kokimiten kora en keberta notok anan kokimiten ko tuan ak Alan Kibrono ko director nenyunet amagun koskolingut nemie metwau testa iker ketesiet nebo Nenyon TV amun Kimi Gaa.